Hey guys, Zane here with another One Take review, and today I want to talk about the new Miranda Lambert album, Palomino. Palomino is the latest album from country musician Miranda Lambert, who is one of the few individuals of her genre who, over the course of her career, has gained commercial success, critical acclaim, and enough power to become a household name, even out of the bounds of the country music genre. Now, even with her incredible amounts of fame and popularity, I've always found that Miranda Lambert as a personality is very average when taken away from the sort of mist of her fortune and fame. As the years since the first handful of her albums and the excitement of this new arising star on the country scene has kind of passed that feeling overall, I do feel like records like Palomino tend to show that a little bit more. The majority of Lambert's latest record really lacks any sense of unique bite or anything of the sort that makes her distinguishable from the waves upon waves of other pop country musicians that are just temporarily wandering the radio airwaves right now. While the more acoustic-based moments here do see Miranda Lambert take on a more neo-traditionalist-esque approach to her sound, I still do think that most of the record overall just fails to really make her stand out from the crowd. When you're decades into your career now and you still can't really stand out from the likes of your peers as well as the people that you ended up influencing, that's not only hard to do, but it's actually kind of disappointing. The thing that allows Palomino to be salvaged after you take away Miranda Lambert herself and her personality and vocal delivery on the record is none other than her songwriting. Her usage of classic old school country, I'm heartbroken but I'm moving on, and just sort of storytelling of the everyday person style of lyricism while paying direct tribute to her influences like Dolly Parton may be very cliche in the grand scheme of country music. It's a staple in the genre for a reason. I mean, after all, it's actually more easy to connect with the characters that Miranda Lambert creates on Palomino than it is to actually connect with her as an individual. Of course, this all comes down to the whole concept of an artist becoming less relatable as they become more of a staying power, their name becomes more well known, and that's definitely applicable here to some extent because it really does show on Palomino that Miranda Lambert is capable of creating very interesting stories and weaving them in a way that it feels very personable and very honest and easily engageable. In fact, this personal engagement that comes from the songwriting almost completely reverses any damage that is done by Miranda Lambert herself and her lack of personality. Rather than being lured into Palomino because of the woman behind it, it's actually the stories and the characters that are being told here that sink their sappy hooks into you and manage to make Palomino the incredibly endearing experience that it is. The production on Palomino is also great, as similar to Orville Peck's Bronco from earlier this year, it injects life in pretty much every track that's on this record. Pretty much every song is great here, musically and aesthetically, with soundscapes that range from very smooth and pleasant to downright elegant, and we have all of that to thank for the excellent production. To be clear, the actual instrumentation on this record isn't always great, with even certain songs like I'll Be Lovin' You walking the very thin line that goes above the rushing waters of cheesy annoyance. However, they feel fresh and lively nonetheless, even if they do feel a little corny at times, and the production on Palomino ensures that it constantly feels like a very direct and upbeat record overall. It also allows the record's greatest moments to be elevated to even higher peaks, while its worst moments are still decent at worst. Overall, Palomino is an album that didn't click with me the first go-around, if I'm being honest. That's actually why I waited so long to review it. I've never found Miranda Lambert to be that interesting of a performer in the general sense, and I suppose I technically still don't, but the intricacies that Palomino delivers really ultimately changed my mind on this record at the very least. Also, the B-52s are on the song Music City Queen. I'm not the only one that thinks that's weird, right? Like, it's not just me. Alright, cool. Like, I'd really like to know where the two of them met, like, were the B-52s and Miranda Lambert, like, working in the same recording studio or whatever, but the B-52s aren't recording any new music, I don't think, so I wouldn't see why they would be in the same recording studio, and I can't see why they would meet casually. That wouldn't really make any sense either. Not like they would really be playing at the same festival or anything. I'm going on too long about this, but my point is, the B-52s are on Music City Queen. It's a good song, and it's a weird feature, but I digress. Palomino is a great listen, especially if you're interested in modern country music that has a slightly traditionalist flair, while never truly being based around its influences, but more paying tribute to it more than anything. And with that being said, I am going to give Palomino 4 stars out of 5. If you asked me a couple days ago when this record came out what I would have given it, I probably would have given it 2.5, 3 stars at max, but really there's a level of depth to Palomino that I do think I highly underestimated, and even a depth to Miranda Lambert's songwriting abilities that I greatly underestimated, and because of that, I am going to give Palomino a 4. And with that being said, that's the end of this review, and I'll see you guys in the next one.